Hey everyone, it's Mo Jax back in the DJ City UK lab. Today I'm reviewing the Denon DJ DS1. This is a bit of a first really, because for a few years we've had different mixers and controllers that work with Serato software from all kinds of different manufacturers. But this is the first time we've seen a standalone DVS interface from any company apart from Rane, who obviously started with the SL1, then we've got the SL2, 3 and 4 are the current range. And let's be honest, we know these are great products, okay? They last for years, the sound quality is superb, and they do the business. Absolutely they do. They're also quite expensive, particularly kind of outside the US, by the time you've got import taxes and so on, they can get a bit pricey because they're American made. They're not the cheapest things in the world. So the first thing that the Denon brings to the table is price. Now, the DS1 street price is around about $300. That's opposed to $500 for the SL2. And we've got to compare these two directly in terms of functionality because they are pretty much the same. They've both got line or phono switchable inputs, two of them, and then you can hook up your turntables or CDJs to those, and you come with the noise map vinyl and control CDs as well in the box. You've then got two stereo outputs that feed into your mixer, and you've got the USB 2 connection which hooks up to the computer, plus your grounding post there as well. So that's it, 2 in, 2 out, no internal recording or anything like that. You can record each deck individually, but you can't record all together. You can't record your mix with either of these boxes. Now, so that's $300, $500 for this. Is there a difference in quality? Well, listening to it, no there isn't. And I recorded vinyl through the preamps as well. So I got some brand new vinyl, got the Master Sounds weight on there, got an archive cartridge, and actually recorded brand new piece of vinyl in with both these interfaces, the SL2 and the DS1. And quality wise, there's nothing between them. I looked at the waveforms, I've listened on different speakers, there's nothing to call between the two. Very, very similar in terms of sound. I also put them through audio analysis software as well. And again, all the stats in there are really, really similar. In fact, the Denon comes out slightly on top on a couple of things. The SL2 comes out slightly on top on a couple of others, but the differences are so tiny, they're hardly worth even noting. So, again, sound quality superb. Now, Rane talk a lot about their galvanic isolation in the SL boxes, which kind of separates the earth side of things. And I spoke to Denon about this, and they've said in order to get this to be so small, they went against that solution. That wasn't a solution that worked for them. They're confident that it's isolated just as well overall. And you know what, again, in the club, have no issues with grounding or anything like that. All sounds just as good as an SL2. Technically, you look at the specs on it, it's got 96 kilohertz sampling rate it will support as well, which the SL2 will not. Not a big deal for most people. Again, that's quite a niche thing, playing that kind of level of quality of file, but if that applies to you, the DS1 is the way to go. So for $200 extra, why would you buy an SL2? Well, there's one feature which is missing, that's for certain, and that is the ability to hook up the optional power supply to the SL2. You don't get that with the DS1. That means, and obviously it is an extra expense, it's an optional extra, but you can do it. Hook up a power supply to this, and then you've got a standalone through mode. So even without a computer connected, you can leave this hooked up to your mixer and your turntables and just play vinyl through the system, just with this plugged into the mains, not to the computer. You don't have that option with the DS1, but obviously that would have added to the size of it and so on. And again, is that a niche activity? If you really want to play some vinyl, you could just take your connections out, plug them straight into your mixer instead. So not a massive sort of selling point from that point of view. The other thing, which might still mean you want to buy an SL2, is that the DS1 is, being a brand new product, is not supporting Serato Scratch Live. It only works with Serato DJ. Now, again, look at my Rane TTM57 Mark II review back on the channel. I talk about that in a bit more detail. I think you should be on Serato DJ now anyway, but if you are a die-hard Scratch Live user, then that won't work with the DS1. You'll have to buy a Rane SL box still to use with Scratch Live. So bear that in mind if that's you. It's not me, for sure. So sound quality wise, it's fantastic, up there with the SL2. Performance wise, very low latency. I've had no problems. I'm down to 1 millisecond here on the MacBook Pro. It's not even a new MacBook Pro. The responsiveness of the DVS side of things is just great. I've got no issues with that whatsoever. Overall, it's a fantastic performer. I would like to see, because From my point of view, a 2-in 2-out interface isn't really enough. I had to borrow this SL2 from somebody to do this comparison, and I lent them my SL3 because that's what I use with Serato DVS. I use an SL3 purely because it gives you that third channel. You can run your SP6 through a third channel, but also you can record your set back into the box and record directly in Serato DJ. So for me, that's a real kind of extra bit of functionality that I miss with either of these 2-channel interfaces. And I'd like to see a bigger version of the DS1 with that third channel on there, perhaps even a bigger one again with 2 USB ports or something. But certainly if they could do one with 3 channels for $400, that would be my recommendation. As it is, the SL3 is substantially more money than the DS1, so you might as well really buy an external audio recorder or something like that, to be honest. I mean, construction wise, it's super solid. It's so small and portable, it will literally fit in your pockets. And it feels solid, there's no kind of flex in the build or anything like that. The SL boxes are equally well built, of course, and we know these last a long time. But I've got nothing to complain about with the build of the DS1. If you are just wanting to get into DVS and trying out, you know, the control vinyl, the control CDs, then it's a great choice. $300, it's your cheapest way in. If you are a CDJ user, for example, as well, you use CDJs in HID mode, you still will need an interface or a compatible mixer, you know, club kit compatible. But if you haven't got a club kit compatible mixer at your gig, then you can just pull this out your bag or your pocket even, because it's so small. Use the DS1 as your interface, hook up your CDJs in HID mode, and you're good to go. It's a very handy bit of kit to have around as well. Works with Traktor, you know, I used it with Traktor, not with DVS of course, but just as a sound card, works for that as well. Again, the quality is really good, the build quality is good. For $300, I think it's a great investment. Thank you very much for watching today. Make sure you subscribe for all our future tips, tricks, and product reviews. I'll see you soon.